Welcome to the 2023 Invent Oregon Finals. Coming to you live from Portland, Oregon. Today's exhibition features student innovators from across the state. Joining us in celebration of the 7th annual showcase is Oregon State Treasurer Tobias Reed.
I'm Oregon State Treasurer Tobias Reed. Do you remember that old saying that every great journey starts with a single step? I'm here to congratulate you on taking what can be the first step of your great journey. The world is full of challenges right now, but those challenges are also opportunities, and I'm so excited you're putting yourself on a path to doing great things. Talent is distributed equally. It's opportunity that's not. And by being part of Invent Oregon, you're creating two great opportunities. One, the chance to help overcome the world's challenges, and two, the opportunity for the world to benefit from your talent. Here's the bottom line. We need you. We need everyone's best, your full talents and dedication. I'm Oregon's Chief Investment Officer, and I know there's no better investment than in Oregonians. So I'm here to salute you and support you. And go change the world, please. And keep us posted on how you're doing and how we can help.
Welcome. It is my pleasure to be on this stage today. I'm Abigail Van Gelder. I'm the director of the Center for Entrepreneurship at Portland State University, and I also have the distinct privilege of leading the charge when it comes to this showcase and introducing these student innovators. It is incredible, the showcase that we have for you today. Students have traveled across the state to be here. They have been working for years, some of them years, on these projects that they're going to show you. They have been balancing school, jobs, families, and commitments in life. Some of them have risked life and limb to be here, fighting deer on their way. It's been an incredible journey to watch students come from some of their feeder competitions at their own universities, or taking the charge and applying and just wanting to be here to share with you. I'm proud of everyone who's here today. We would not be here without the generosity of our volunteers and our sponsors. Thank you to the incredible team that makes all of this possible. Before we start, I would like to acknowledge the land we occupy is unceded Indigenous land. The Portland metro area rests on traditional village sites of the Multnomah, Wasco, Cowlitz, Katlamit, Clackamas, Band of Chinook, Tualatin, Kalupa, Molalla, and many other tribes who have made their homes in the Columbia River, creating both permanent communities and seasonal encampments. Due to the strategic and systematic efforts to annihilate indigenous peoples from these lands and history, there are many other tribes and nations who traditionally lived, hunted, fished in what is now Multnomah County and Oregon that are not collectively remembered. We are honored to be joined today by Hazel Valdez of PDX Women in Tech to serve as our MC. Hazel is also one of those folks who works tirelessly to support the entrepreneurial and innovation efforts of those in the Portland community. She is leading the way for women in tech, not only to find their place, but to create their own spaces and pathways for mentorship. Her work with Saturday Academy is ensuring that more young innovators see the connections and pathways that exist for them in STEM fields. Please welcome Hazel Valdez.
Thank you, Abigail. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, the clap was good, but now I need to hear some excitement. Good afternoon, everyone. Hello and welcome. Like Abigail said, my name is Hazel, and I will be your MC for the afternoon. I'm thrilled to be here on the stage. It's always an honor to share the stage with amazing student innovators, and I can't wait to see what they have for us today. In addition to the team presentations, we will also be joined a little later by some of the past winners and the incredible sponsors. So, judging criteria. Before we kick off, I'd like to share a little about the prototype competition and what the teams have been working towards. Over the past 90 days, each team has worked to design, prototype, test, and validate their Invent Oregon innovation. Each of their journeys has presented obstacles and setbacks, but their passion, diligence, and determination has also delivered breakthroughs, and triumphs along the way. That's what innovators do, right? Our panel of judges will be scoring each team using 4 categories to determine overall winners. First category, prototype. Is the prototype innovative? Is the prototype skillfully constructed? Is the prototype functioning? Second, pitch. Ability to clearly present the problem, solution, and the market business opportunity in their pitch. That's a big one for even the adults. Progress. Progress the team has made since the beginning of the competition. So think back to your first day, fast forward to 90 days later. Did the teams accomplish their stated goals? And impact. Does the team's prototype or solution have a substantial and scalable positive environmental and or social impact? In other terms, do you have your MVP, or minimum viable product? The judges will be looking at their progress via prototype, pitch, business model, and impact. At the start of the competition, each team received $2,500 in prototyping grants. They are now competing for $10,000 for the first place team to take their innovation further, $7,500 to the second place team, and for the third place team, they'll receive $5,000. And for the fourth place team, they will receive $2,000. In addition, prizes are awarded for Best Community College, receiving $1,500, the Visionary Award for $2,500, and the People's Choice Award for $1,500. The People's Choice Award was selected earlier today by those who attended the in-person exhibition. Kicking off today's event is Juniper Joy from the Oregon Institute of Technology, or OIT. The inspiration for Juniper Joy found roots in the conservation of juniper trees, with a desire to harness this invasive species as a local natural resource. They are creating a system to harvest and distill juniper berries into essential oils for medicinal use. Please welcome Juniper Joy.
Thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Claire Lowry, and today I'd like to introduce you to Juniper Joy. Before I really jump in, though, let me ask, how many of you are familiar with Western juniper trees? Most of you, good. If you're not, that's okay. That's all we're talking about today. In the 1930s, Western juniper trees covered 1.5 million acres in Eastern Oregon. Flash forward 2019, and as you can see from the green on this map, they've clearly expanded. And conservative estimates say they cover 6 million acres in Oregon alone. That's a 300% increase in the span of 90 years. And if we look at the Western US as a whole, they cover 42 million acres. So with their increased prevalence, the trees have gained a bad reputation. They're attributed with causing drought, reducing grazing land, and displacing other native plant species. And so because of this, we want to remove them. However, our current removal efforts are not the most effective because these trees have berries, and these berries are their seeds. And when we go to remove the trees, we knock off all their berries, spreading their seeds everywhere. And then we're not quite sure what to do with the tree once you remove it, so we leave it there to rot, creating the perfect environment for all these scattered seeds to germinate. And so in trying to decrease their population, we've effectively increased it. And not only that, we're taking away a source of food for a variety of wildlife, including the sharp-tailed grouse, which is listed as a species of concern. So, did you know that these trees contain medicinal properties? They're antiseptic, anti-rheumatic. They help with gastrointestinal problems, as well as a host of skin conditions, such as acne and eczema. So what if instead of removing the trees, we harvested them? What if we harnessed the prolific life of our desert landscapes and created products from our local vegetation? what if we changed our perception of the Western juniper? Introducing Juniper Joy, a company created to aid in the management of Western juniper trees by creating products highlighting their medicinal properties. This idea came to me while I was hiking with my 2 dogs. As we were walking along, I came across a juniper tree, as I often do. But this time I decided to take a closer look. And as I did, I noticed the berries, and I started to wonder what their purpose was. So I went home and I started researching, and that's when I learned about all of their beneficial properties, as well as the current management and removal efforts. And that's when the idea came to me. My idea is to create essential oil products extracted from the berries through distillation. This will help in the management of Western juniper trees by putting their berries to use rather than leaving them to sprout into more trees. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, there are already plenty of essential oil companies out there, and many of them already carry juniper essential oil. Where does Juniper Joy fit into this equation? Well, let me tell you. The global essential oil industry is predicted to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of 7.9% from 2023 to 2030. This is largely driven by an increased interest from industries such as personal care, cosmetics, and aromatherapy. This shows that the industry is not dying or stagnating, it's growing. And there's room for new companies such as Juniper Joy. And the current juniper essential oils on the market are imported from India and Albania. Countries are importing their juniper from across the world. Juniper Joy will differentiate itself by sourcing its products from Oregon and the surrounding states, taking advantage of the natural resources we have in our backyard, helping the environment and economy by putting the species to use and creating jobs in the process. The key to Juniper Joy is a proper management, not removal of Western juniper trees. It's a stepping stone to helping our environment and economy. And today, I'd like to ask you to join me in this journey to start Juniper Joy so we can utilize our natural resources and become better stewards of the land. Thank you.
Thank you, Juniper Joy. Next up, we have SoundSpider, representing Southern Oregon University. Their project aims to take sound to the next level by developing headphones that will address the issue of directionality and response time. Using 5 speakers per side, they will be able to create a more immersive and dynamic user experience with endless applications across multiple platforms. Please welcome SoundSpider.
Hello. That was a little loud. All right. So, for the past few decades, all headphone companies in every field have continued to hit the same barriers in progress. With each idea and new product in the industry, there seem to be just 2 elements that hold every product back from the next big thing. Those being sound dispersal and depth. So, with the plateau of innovation in the market, flat, uninteresting, and minimal designs have forever defined headphones. But our company, SoundSpider, seeks to break that status quo and elevate the game. Welcome to a new web of sound. With SoundSpider's expected 18-speaker design, 45-degree orientation, and adaptive AI audio routing, we plan to revolutionize personal audio and set a new standard for headphones everywhere. It is also important to note that our company's standard is built on a sustainable foundation. As such, SoundSpider's utilization of sustainable business practices and materials whenever possible stands as a core of our business model. We have plans to use materials such as bamboo, hemp, and recycled plastics in our future market products, as well as plan to partner with organizations that share that same motivation. So, SoundSpider's journey has started from very simple beginnings. As you can see, back in January of this year, the idea of SoundSpider was just no more than a dream. I had sketched up plans and ideas of the product's potential and had brought them to who would become my business partner in the other half of SoundSpider. With his shared excitement for the product, within time, we had built our first prototype, shown here. Well, the one shown here is actually our second. The first was a yogurt cup and 2 earbuds. But from there, we shot for the moon. We received our first bit of funding and stayed up many long nights testing and tinkering, working to perfect the potential of our product. And with each and every iteration, we see more success and even more potential. Currently, we have a prototype that provides insight into analog and physical aspects of our ultimate design, one that showcases what we have in store for the near future. In our constant flow of testing and recalibrating our product, we found that our design not only heightens quality and immersion, but solves problems across all headphone industries, with the potential of even future-proofing problems that we can't even recognize yet. And through our countless hours of behind-the-curtain drafting and research, we can assuredly say that with the right funding and momentum, SoundSpider's monumental step in headphone design will become a reality. So, as you guys saw, to kick off SoundSpider, our first target market is esports and competitive gaming. With SoundSpider's dynamic 3D audio, gamers will always know exactly where their enemies are. This, of course, will give them that edge over the competition that they're looking for. In the indirect interviews we've done with this target audience, we found that an overwhelming amount of gamers struggle with imprecise audio cues, caused, of course, by having single-direction speakers. Plus, in our market research, we found that 70% of Americans are regular gamers. There are over 3.24 billion gamers worldwide, and that with a $1.44 billion market in esports, it is expected to grow 21% annually to a $5.48 billion by 2029. But aside from the gaming market, the potential of SoundSpider is endless. With what we have seen and heard, SoundSpider's ability to pronounce more precise locational cues, create an ensemble soundscape, and define audible momentum allows it to break ground in dozens of different markets. A few example markets are in entertainment, emergency response, accessibility, et cetera, et cetera. With SoundSpider's future-forward design, there are potentially hundreds of problems and solutions our headphones will solve that we don't see yet. So, I'm Hayden Jennings, here with my co-founder, Tanner Smith, and we are SoundSpider. Thank you.
Thank you, SoundSpider. Half my team are gamers. I think they would really enjoy this little bit of ingenuity there. We're about to hear from our next team representing University of Oregon, Rhino Revive. Their project intends to drastically reduce the amount of water used in the textile process by developing a truly sustainable athletic wear line made from 100% organic cotton and recycled plastics. Part of their proceeds will also be donated to various environmental causes. Please welcome Rhino Revive.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the warm welcome introductions. I really appreciate that. And hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Hugh, and I'm here for Rhino Revive. I just recently graduated from University of Oregon 2 days ago. I'm also an ex-former employee at Nike, and right now I'm a founder of Rhino Revive, an active, eco-conscious brand that focuses on sustainability. Before you say, another clothing brand, just wait. Let me introduce you to the new fashions. As we know, fashion industry have destroyed our planet over decades, with 20% water pollution came from the fashion industry itself, the second biggest industry on our planet. Did you know one single traditional cotton t-shirt made out of 713 gallons of water, or 2,700 liters of water? Wow, that's stunning, right? And with that, how can we eliminate those numbers when currently right now, 771 million people on the planet don't have access to clean water? With that single traditional cotton t-shirt, we can help generate drinking water for a person up to 2.5 years. And Rhino Revive here, we want to bring up the solution for this. Many ways we can solve the problems by replacing the traditional materials to bamboo textiles, to coffee beans, lotus silk, or a great example we have here, our first collection of hoodie, 100% organic cottons. By replacing traditional cotton to organic cottons, we reduce the amount of water waste by 11 times. And on top of that, Run Revive offer a great discount with comparative pricings when our hoodie is only listing retail price for $100. Another great example would be our seamless leggings. So our seamless legging here using recycled polyesters. Where they came from? Recycled polyesters came from recycled plastic bottles, used fishing nets, or used tires, or any type of PET that go into landfill every single year. Doing so, we can eliminate waste and make the better impact for our planet. Over 100 interviews we did with our customers, we figured out many ladies asking for pockets, and now we add them on, not once, but 2 of them. And over 100 interviews that we facing another great challenge when most of our customers asking for, I wear the hoodie, but they are soaking wet in Pacific Northwest or Oregon or Washington when it's raining almost every single day of the year. With that, Run Revive came up with solutions by coating the layers of our hoodie with the beeswax technique, allowing us to make our hoodie water resistant. After working for Nike 2 years and being in the industry and listened carefully to many successful founders that already dominate in the industry itself, we realized that every brand has 3 biggest elements in their products to be success, are quality, fitting, and comfort. At Run Revive, we care about quality so much because we want to eliminate the fast fashions. We also try to earn the business from our customers, not once, not twice, but for lifetime. On top of that, Run Revive add 4 elements in our DNA. It's sustainable. We're not only saying it, we actually try to certify them by Authentic Textiles, certified B Corp, or organic textiles. On top of that, Run Revive want to contribute our annual profit to organizations around the world to support and restorations animal like the rhino. We also want to partner with Oceana to clean up the oceans or Oregon forests to plant more trees. As you see here, fashion industry is huge and big when come up with $1 billion of market size. Our customer segments focus is about 4.2 billion. As you see, many big brands like Nike, Lululemon, or Gymshark, they already dominated in the profit, in the products. However, we set Run Revive different from the rest of them because we want to make our product quality affordable but not cheap. And we want to contribute our market into social mission driven when every single products we sell are sustainable. With $12,500, that allowing us to order the minimal order quantity with 500 hoodies. With that 500 hoodies, we can turn them into over $41,000 in revenue. Not stopping from there, with that 500 hoodies, we actually save up to 1.2 million liters of water just by 500 hoodies. Imagine that we're selling thousands of products. And we are here today asking you to join our missions to protect our planet because Earth is the only thing we have in common. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rhino Revive. Anything to save water and save our planet, I'm for it. All right, I'd like to introduce our next team, Wheelchair Mate from Oregon State University. Tackling the issue of accessibility on multiple fronts, this team is developing a universal rail system for connecting the various wheelchair accessories needed for everyday use. Their designs will be open source, and they plan to offer an affordable 3D printing service to the public. Please welcome Wheelchair Mate.
Thank you for the introduction. So before we start, I would like to introduce you to Kay. Kay has cerebral palsy and lives most of their life in a wheelchair. There are many obvious hurdles to overcome when you live in a wheelchair, but there are also many unforeseen issues. One of the main things that Kay actually struggles with is finding their own chair to store things they need to operate in school and in general. The wheelchair doesn't have any built-in storage, and it can be very hard to use pockets. This leaves the alternative of hanging bags off of their chair like you can see here. It's an awkward solution that requires a lot of strength and maneuverability, so assistance from others is often needed. There
There are some solutions the medical industry has come up with, though, as we can see here. There's an attachment to hold your phone, a water bottle, an umbrella, which would be handy if it wasn't for how outrageously expensive they are. The phone holder there is $60. $60 for just a little bit of plastic. These products are typically clunky, cheaply made, only work on one wheelchair, and don't fully solve the issue. Like that umbrella holder you see there, you would have to stretch and reach pretty far back to grab it, let alone unstrap it. Upon a quick glance, it becomes obvious these products aren't made with the customer in mind, but instead profit, so they can charge an egregious amount for a product that's subpar. Despite what the ADA graphic depicts, there are many different types of wheelchairs to accommodate the many different types of people that need them, which means there isn't any type of standardization. The main three, as we're showing here, are powered, manual, and custom manual wheelchairs. This adds another layer of frustration for some wheelchair users because they have to find parts that are the right size for their chair in particular. This can even further disincentivize wheelchair users from getting attachments because they don't want to deal with it all. It's for reasons like these that Kay doesn't buy attachments for their chair and instead makes do without them.
After seeing what's currently on the market and how much it can be improved, we were inspired by Kay's story to create accessible ways to make life more livable for people with disabilities and other adaptive needs. We knew that we could do better. We wanted to make a product that catered to the community we're serving and solve their problems as best we could. So that's why I, Nathan Matthews,
and I, Terry Nom Kalin, have developed the Wheelchair Mate.
The Wheelchair Mate is a modular rail system that fits on any wheelchair. Users can equip attachments that lock, adjust, and can be removed with ease. Besides a little bit of hardware, the rails, mounts, and attachments are entirely 3D printed. It's like Lego for wheelchairs that allows users to customize their chair on however they want. The designs will be open source and available on file sharing sites like Printables and Thingiverse. This means that people can access our 3D models for free and print them at home. They could also alter our designs to create our own that are compatible with the Wheelchair Mate rails to fit their specific needs. Users can then upload these so others can use their designs. We're not just creating a product, we're creating a platform. Wheelchair Mate will be creating a community of people all working towards the same common goal. Now that we know most people just don't have a 3D printer, or maybe they just don't want to have to deal with the hassle of printing everything and finding the right hardware. So we'll be selling the rails, attachments, and hardware kits to people to not only make the process simpler, but to also reach as many people as possible.
We'll not only be creating a superior product, but a much less expensive product. Wheelchairs already cost a lot of money. Kaya's wheelchair costs $42,000, and there's no need to pile more money on top of that. Wheelchair accessory purchases through Medicare alone are around $370 million annually. And this doesn't include purchases through private insurances or that aren't covered by insurance. So in actuality, this number will be much higher. But with 2.7 million people in wheelchairs in the United States, it averages to thousands of dollars per person. We, on the other hand, will only charge for the cost of production plus just enough money to keep things running. This equates to millions of dollars being saved by wheelchair users as a whole.
In the future, we plan to improve our designs. We've made 5 main iterations to the rail system so far, and over 30 iterations to the different attachments. And we don't plan to stagnate our design here. There's always room for improvement. As we came up with more attachments and innovations, we'll add them online for users to access. As the community creates their own designs, if there's enough demand for an attachment, we'll make it. In the future, we can also look towards different materials to make rails out of. Aluminum, for example, would make a much more rugged product that could handle wear and tear, which is ideal for some users.
After hearing our idea, Kay was on board to help us in whatever way they could. Kay's been using the Wheelchair Mate for the past 3 weeks and have provided valuable information on the directions our design can go in the future and how it can best help the people that actually need it.
We will continue to work with Kay and other wheelchair users to improve and develop the most impactful product we can. We believe Wheelchair Mate has the potential to help millions of people by making their lives easier and more livable, and we hope that you feel the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Wheelchair Mate. Anything to help our accessibility community is a wonderful thing. For many of the folks you will hear from today, their entrepreneurial journey does not stop here. They carry on with their projects to form companies and continue developing these concepts. Earlier, we caught up with one of last year's prize winners, Riley and Brenton Farrell of Stormrider.
So since Invent Oregon last spring, what we ended up doing was further developing the product design of the Stormrider. So we made a fully functioning prototype, and I was able to attach our board by the end of the pitch competition. Since then, we've added a light feature, worked with designers to implement a better attaching method to the board so it's more durable, as well as looked into more materials that we could use that allow it to survive the elements of longboarding and hit against a curb and be completely fine. That was really the main significant change that Stormrider has had, but my brother Breton has been working on his own project, if you'd like to talk about it.
Yeah, this last kind of later summer, I broke apart and pursued an idea of my own. It's a company I thought of named Feral Foods, which is personalized freeze-dried backpacking food. I came up with it just because I've personally been backpacking my whole life, and I always thought that you kind of have to sacrifice your dietary and taste preferences to go back in. So I thought that Feral Foods would serve as a good solution to that. And I've also used that as part of my undergraduate thesis, and I actually just won a different pitch competition just about 2 weeks ago, the Oregon Innovation Challenge. Definitely Invent Oregon helped give me a lot of the skill sets that I needed to go out and do other pitch competitions and also just keep pursuing the business in general. And we still collaborate every once in a while between our ventures. Like, he'll help pitch my venture at OIC, and then I've helped him in the past.
Definitely, I felt that Invent Oregon was an accelerated way. They taught us how to accelerate product development and learning new things and just testing the waters. I felt combined with the development grant and giving you that objective, giving you 60 days to do as much as you can is a really great driving force to make you learn a lot and then also get a lot done. And I think I tried my best to learn from that and keep that mentality after Invent Oregon and use the extra funds that I earned to do some amazing things. So that was definitely very helpful.
And it's been great just seeing what all the other Invent Oregon challengers have been up to and seeing their ideas grow. For example, Jensen, who took first last year, we go to school with her, and it's been great seeing how her company, Love Hate Athletic, has grown throughout the year. And she also won the OIC challenge as well.
We wish them both the best with graduation and their continued innovation journey. The one thing about innovation is iteration. In product development, sometimes you'll find you'll do another thing on top of what you're already doing because that other thing fits that other thing. So keep that in mind. All right, coming up next is LearnSesh from Umpqua Community College. This team of innovators wants to revolutionize the classroom. They've been working hard to develop a VR educational platform that creates an interactive and more equitable learning environment for teaching traditionally difficult subjects in math and science. Please welcome LearnSesh.
Right now, 60% of students graduating high school have not mastered reading and math. Let that sit in. Right now, almost 2/3 of our population entering the workforce or the real world do not have fundamental skills in math and reading. Internationally, we're no longer top 10 in math, science, or reading. 14% of our students aren't graduating high school. And to make matters worse, COVID just wiped away nearly 2 decades of educational progress in math and reading. And while COVID may be the root of these recent issues, let's not let it distract us from the bigger problem, that there are increasing inequities in education. As we all know, schools don't have the funding or resources that they need to meet each student's unique needs. This results in a one-size-fits-all approach that leaves students at the top and bottom of the class behind. Not just that, but that results in decreased engagement and often behavioral issues. My name's Isaiah. I'm a co-founder at LearnSesh. We're an extended reality ed tech startup that's addressing inequities in learning. We're using virtual reality, which for anyone who's unfamiliar, involves putting on goggles that trick your mind and brain into believing you're somewhere else. Imagine putting on a headset and you're instantly teleported to the Grand Canyon, or all of a sudden you're in space and you can move the position of planets. So before Invent Oregon, we built a virtual reality classroom. It was focused on helping students understand the year's most difficult concepts, helping teachers be able to accommodate students with many different learning styles and needs, and at the same time being able to increase engagement with immersive environments that get rid of external distractions. So through our pilots, we found that our platform, it was overwhelming in terms of responsive ability to help students learn these difficult concepts, but we found that educators don't want to take the time to make their own custom lessons in VR. They want something that's instantly ready that they can then customize if they choose. So with that said, for Invent Oregon, what we did is we built our first learning module. This learning module put students inside of a plant cell where they could explore, learn about different organelles, create their own model to show what they learned, look at an answer key, and be able to answer assessment questions. Right now, current players in the market are either making generalized collaborative spaces, recreating social scenarios, or are focused on making content for too many subjects and age groups. Our middle school specialization focused on STEM, our in-app content creation tools, and our per-student accommodations are what separate us from the competition. There are currently 75 million students in the United States, 12 million of which are in middle school, and we believe we can pull in roughly 50,000 students into our ecosystem within the third year, representing a $4 million opportunity in annual recurring revenue. As a B2B SaaS company, we sell licenses to our virtual reality classrooms, which will come with those baseline learning activities. We'll have additional content and activities for sale, and our peer-to-peer asset store will allow educators to sell the experiences that they're making on our platform to each other, providing an additional revenue stream. So we're getting ready to start our 7th pilot with a school district in Illinois, which is going to be paid. We have, in terms of hardware adoption, the accessibility has never been better. Headsets are more affordable, more performant. They're costing less than a Chromebook in many situations, and major players like Oculus are removing requirements and barriers. They recently removed the requirement to have a Facebook account, so schools now are able to take this next step, and we're seeing adoption in school districts. So with immersive technology, we can meet students where they're struggling, help get them to where they need to be by increasing engagement and confidence. We can redefine hands-on learning and really give students a way to learn based off of their strengths. So with that said, please join us in welcoming the future of education.
Thank you, LearnSesh. Also representing the Oregon Institute of Technology is Deep Dive Robotics. This team is driven to minimize the risk to humans when studying or working underwater. They've been working on an autonomous submarine drone to perform survey work more thoroughly and safely, surpassing former models in design and cost effectiveness. Please welcome Deep Dive Robotics.
Welcome. My name's Lauren, and this is my partner Mauricio, and we are Deep Dive Robotics. So who are we? We're 2 engineering students that are passionate about robotics. Our inspiration comes in part from our friend and mentor, Theo. Theo was the president of the robotics club at Oregon Tech for the past 2 years. As we were working on this project, unfortunately, he passed away suddenly in November of 2022, so we decided to lovingly dedicate this robot to him by naming it Theo.
So what is the problem that we're trying to solve? Well, we're trying to solve the issue of divers inspecting these underwater structures. They have limitations. They're limited by the amount of oxygen they can carry, their fatigue, and when they're down there in these low visibility environments, they can make errors, right? Which could result in catastrophic failure of the infrastructure that they're inspecting. There's also professional difficulties. For example, with a oil rig, you might need to have the diver be on site for multiple months. This makes it difficult to have a family or a social life outside of the oil rig. And there's hazards to humans. There's drowning, there's hypothermia, and for career divers, there's actually long-term health consequences. So how are we going to solve this issue? How is Theo going to solve these divers' issues? Well, we're going to remove the need for a human almost entirely. So Theo's going to be completely autonomous, being able to navigate these environments completely on its own, and get a detailed map of these environments. Once it has the map, once it has all this data, it can then send it off to be analyzed elsewhere. It's able to exceed what a human normally would be able to do. Run for longer, so it can run for around 6 hours. And it's able to reach into smaller, harder to reach areas. So what are some markets of opportunity? Well, there's search and rescue. They might need to look for an object at the bottom of a lake. There's dams. They might need to look for damage after a storm. Fish and wildlife might need to do an environmental survey. And oil rigs might need to do an inspection, make sure that they're continuing to drill, and there isn't like a catastrophic failure like an oil spill. So how does this work? Well, inspection is pretty simple. All you would need to do is drop the robot in the water, designate a rectangle, so then the robot knows what water column to search. It would go down through that entire column that you've designated, getting a map and a solid image of this environment, and then it would come back with this data. Then you can just ship the data out, it can be analyzed, and conclusions can be made.
And with that, we'll take a look at our competition. So that first robot that you see at the very top is about $10,000. You can see the remote that's in that picture, which means that you still need to pay a skilled operator to use this robot, someone that knows what they're looking for. The data spindle that you see in the back is used for data transfer, and you can see how that could be pretty easily tripped up in the water. Next, we have this $17,000 robot. Again, it's remote operated, so you still have to pay your skilled operator to use this robot. Next, we have our most similar competition. So this robot is fully autonomous, but check out that price tag. It is a whopping $55,000. So where does Theo stack up in this? Well, Theo has an estimated cost of $17,000, which is much less than our competitor. Theo's fully autonomous, so all you need is your unpaid intern, John, to put Theo in the water, and Theo will do what Theo does. It has no cable, so it can get into smaller to reach areas compared to a human. And with that, I thank you and hope you join us as we revolutionize the way we inspect underwater structures.
Thank you, Deep Dive Robotics. I'm pretty sure we could use that right now for a particular project somewhere. Taking to the stage next is Team Bucha, which, by the way, that's a pretty cool name. Team Bucha from Portland State University. Inspired by firsthand experience and a no-waste ethos, this team is seeking to revolutionize the textile industry by utilizing biotech to produce fabrics from kombucha. Please welcome Team Bucha.
Folks, woo, we're using a mic stand today. I'd like to start with a story. My grandfather was my hero. He passed away this last spring, so I've been thinking about his legacy a lot. My grandfather, at 13 years old, little Rodolfo Cáceres, walked from Guadalajara, Mexico to California alone. When he got there, he started working in agriculture, like so many others. And almost immediately, he did what became his signature, what he was born to do. He started innovating. My grandfather lived the American dream by thinking creatively to improve the products he worked with and his community. Hi, my name is Pablo Cáceres, and I'm here with Team Bucha, and we are taking kombucha and turning it into clothing. While I grew up with agriculture, my background is in fashion design. I got to work in product development with a big brand, and I got to work with factories in China, in Peru, and in India. And the company I worked for had all the right environmental certifications and passed every humanitarian audit, but something always felt a little wrong. Did you know that second only to oil, fashion is the largest producer of pollutants in the world? It's pretty rough. As consumers and manufacturers, we're all trying to make the best choices we can. Nobody's trying to destroy the planet, but there's not a lot of good options. Polyester, for example, releases microplastics into the ocean. Even washing polyester in your laundry reduces these polyester microplastics again. Cotton seems like a good option because it's a natural fiber, but it's considered the agricultural crop that uses the most water of all of them. And for a single leather jacket, it takes 1,000 square meters of land, and that land is usually rainforest. What do we do? This is terrible. This is a bummer. This is a terrible speech. What do we do? Well, I believe the future is in biotextiles. Biotextiles are compostable. They don't utilize really important resources that we're running out of, and they're trending. I personally believe that the answer is in kombucha. Why kombucha? Who is this guy? Why are we talking about kombucha? What even is kombucha? Kombucha is this popular fizzy drink you can buy at your local 7-Eleven, and it grows in this really particular kind of way. You see that layer of goop on top of the booch there? It's called a SCOBY. It's a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. That SCOBY protects the kombucha and also allows it to become kombucha. That SCOBY is a viable alternative to leather. Replacing leather would be a really big deal. Usually, to get a leather jacket, you need a couple of cows, a lot of water, a lot of land, and a couple buckets of industrial pollutants. In order to create some kombucha leather, all you need is some tea and a little bit of sugar. To create kombucha leather, you get a little bit of old SCOBY, you put it in the jar with that tea and sugar, you let it brew for about 2 weeks, and then it's done. You pull it out, put a little bit of beeswax on it, and it's waterproof and surprisingly durable. Biotextiles are the future. It's very important. I brought my handy-dandy notebook for this moment in this long day when I inevitably forgot my next line. Thank you for your patience. Kombucha biotextile would also fundamentally change the fashion industry, which has been getting less and less sustainable for a while now, both environmentally and financially. With shorter and shorter turnaround times and a less predictable market, the industry itself is ready for a refresh with simpler, saner, and more cost-effective solutions. We all support recycling, but recycling the same ideas over and over again isn't getting us anywhere. We need new, innovative ideas to get ourselves out of this mess. We've been working with local businesses Lionheart Kombucha to procure SCOBY, and working with Aurochs Leather to work with figuring out the best ways to produce leather products out of this SCOBY leather. I hope you'll join me and my team with the future of kombucha biotextile leather. Together, we can clean the waterways, we can reduce pollutants, and possibly save the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Bucha. Anything to combat fast fashion, save water, save the planet, always a good thing. Next, we're going to hear from Slap Weights, representing Oregon State University. Focused on providing safe solutions for health and exercise, this team has created a solution to aid athletes in the gym. Welcome, Slap Weights.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Daniel. I'm here, a student at Oregon State University. I'm also a fitness enthusiast. I can tell a lot of fitness enthusiasts in the audience as well. Seems like a little bit of a bodybuilder convention, so, Dumbbell victim, too. Unfortunately, despite all of my enthusiasm for fitness, I've been attacked by the very thing I love, with a dumbbell. So it was last summer, I was getting ready, beach season and all that, doing some lateral raises. I was like, all right, time to step it up from 20 pounds to 25 pounds. And I was a little heavy, but I was like, you know what, we're just gonna send it up there and see what happens. And what happened is I impinged my shoulder and wasn't able to lift for a couple months. So, not good. So the problem is dumbbells, when they have these 5-pound increments, they can either be way too light or way too heavy. And when they're way too heavy, you compromise form, and you have an increased risk of injury. It's not just me. There's over 400,000 exercise equipment-related injuries in just 2021. And that was just the ones that went to the emergency department, not the people who hung their heads in shame and just went home. And 90% of them, the culprit was free weights. So my team here, all right, we have an engineer, someone who works in apparel design, can sew things up, a videographer, and myself. Marketing came together, decided to come together and try and make a solution. So it started with using, CAD, computer-aided design. We have a model right there. And then we started testing these products out. We went to students at the campus gym, got feedback directly from them, sometimes brutal, but brutal honesty is sometimes very important. And then we finally reached our final product after our 4 iterations. So yeah, right there, she was working on the product, sewing it up, and yeah, we got some video of even the students using it, and they seemed to like the final edition. So introducing slap weights, all right? So, all right. I don't know if you guys heard the slap or not, but it just slaps right on there, all right? Mike kind of missed it, but the point is you get this like nice, beautiful slap sound. You just slap on the weight. You get that 2.5-pound increment. Gotta love it. So we have competitors. They like to call themselves competitors. I'd say they're out of our league. In terms of price, so we blow them out of the water. It's also way easier to use. I had them set up at the table back there. I'm sure everyone can sort of attest that, we kind of the winners here. So in terms of the market opportunity, there's over 30 million Gen Z and millennials who have gym memberships. 70%, they make up 70% of TikTok and Instagram users. So with 5% market penetration, we can get over 1.5 million customers, and at $60 per product, that's a $90 million service obtainable market. So with the cost structure, we're estimating it'll cost about $6 per pair. Fulfillment by Amazon will run it up to $7.97, so total cost of $13.97. Gross profit margin of 75%. Of course, there's going to be a large cost associated with marketing, which is going to cut down on that a bit. So what we're going to use some viral marketing. All right, everyone knows influencers. You got to go to those guys, and they're going to spread the good word about our product. We're also going to have a crowdfunding campaign, and we're going to use Amazon for scalability and reaching the global market. So in terms of impact, it's going to reduce risk of injury for gym goers, increase progress, and allow for better recovery. So the idea was conceived last December. And then with the Invent Oregon funds, we were able to get a prototype going, get a new sewing machine. And what we're hoping to do with the rest of the capital is be able to get the minimum order quantity, buy the product, and then come December, you're going to be able to have some slap weights in your little Christmas stocking. So that's the product, slap weights. Slap them on.
Thank you, slap weights. I have very many uses because I'm also in PT, and that would be wonderful. Without the generosity of supporters and sponsors, programs like Invent Oregon would not be able to provide all the resources students need to bring their ideas into reality. They help us make innovation accessible to all students. The Lemelson Foundation has been key in helping Invent Oregon grow, and we're honored to have some of the folks who made this all possible with us today. I'd like to welcome Laura Locker, the program officer at Lemelson Foundation, to tell us a little bit about what Invent Oregon means to students across Oregon. Laura.
I'm going to copy him. Maybe. Hi. Hi. So good to see all these smiling faces that I got to break bread with yesterday. I have notes, so that way they keep me reined in what I say. So it's so good to be with you guys. I said this evening, it kind of feels like this afternoon still. I just want to say, Inventor is just so near and dear to all of us at the Lemelson Foundation. We've been a supporter since it started in 2017, 6 years now. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the Lemelson Foundation, we're a private family foundation that was established by Jerry and Dolly Lemelson over 30 years ago here in Portland. Jerry was one of the most prolific inventors in the United States, independent inventors, with over 600 patents to his name. Dolly, his wife, provided steadfast support that he needed to be able to innovate, and among other interests, she was passionate about advocating for the integration of STEM into public schools. This July, Jerry would have celebrated his 100th birthday, and while neither he nor Dolly are with us anymore today, I have no doubt that both of them would be so impressed and inspired by the amazing inventions and innovations that your teams are presenting here today. And with Inventor's mission to provide mentorship and education to students so that they see themselves as inventors. In launching the foundation, Jerry and Dolly saw the opportunity to support future generations of inventors so that their ideas could be nurtured and translated into businesses that improve people's lives. We truly believe that invention is the driver of lasting social, environmental, and economic change. And our mission of improving lives through invention is strengthened by our commitment to cultivating and preparing future generations of inventors, innovators, and entrepreneurs. People like yourselves who take an invention from an idea, sometimes an idea at the very last minute, to a working prototype, and then also learning about the prospects of commercialization. They would also be tremendously proud of the work that Inventor is doing, the work to foster collaboration among the best minds in Oregon, in the classrooms, the research labs, and beyond, to advance innovation and entrepreneurship education, and to provide these unique opportunities for student inventors to fully realize their potential to improve the world. I'm excited to be here with Inventor. I think this is my third time being able to attend, to be here with all of you and everybody at the Lemelson Foundation. We've got David Coronado here, who is also a program officer. We're grateful for the work that you guys are doing, and bravo to all of you student inventors who are working to solve today's complex challenges. I'm seriously, this is off script, I'm really blown away by what you guys did. Like, each one of you has brought so much heart and spirit and, you know, bringing innovation that comes from your communities and from your families. So you're all winners, and I'm just super proud of you, so good job.
Thank you, Laura, and thank you to all the volunteers and funders who make this all happen. Next up, we'll be hearing from Hazard Engineering, representing Rogue Community College. This team is developing a fully customized solar charge device that can hold and secure all your data, handle all your communications, is GPS capable, and a distress beacon all in one. Ooh, that's cool. Please welcome Hazard Engineering.
Imagine a world where you always have access to electricity, where connectivity and convenience seamlessly merge. Introducing our latest concept, the Omni Charger, an intelligent device that fits right in your hand. It's designed to fit into the pocket of your backpack, so that ensuring that you're always prepared for anything.
The problem we seek to solve today is the amount of e-waste and and consumers, how they use a lot of power. It's like 4.5 hours a day on their cell phone, and their power pandemic has shut down, lost. My bad. I get social anxiety in it. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. The problem we set out to solve today is the increased amount of e-waste and lack of power that people have. And today, people are using a lot of power on their cell phones and stuff, and it's causing more need for extra power. The pandemic has shut down lots of electric grids around the world, leaving families stranded without electricity, and growing popularity of phones and other devices. The amount of e-waste is generated by throwing broken devices away and grows bigger by the day. Over 50 million metric tons of e-waste is thrown away every year. The amount of gold within these electronics would be worth about $4.8 trillion.
I am Jonathan Wright. I'm the project manager of the group. My hobbies include origami, 3D art, and papercraft, all of which require high amounts of attention to detail. Jason Tams is the ideas guy and the founder of HazardCat. He loves tinkering with electronics, which is what led him to create the Omni Charger.
Imagine a game-changing solution that redefines stability and empowers individuals on their adventures. Let me introduce you to the all-in-one, the Omni Charger. We plan on having a recycle-based business, a module based on allowing the consumers to return old or broken models for refurbishment, repair, and reuse.
We are planning on targeting outside enthusiasts who are around 16 to 50 years old with low to mid-sized salaries. People with hobbies like camping, hiking, and hunting are most likely to buy this product.
This device is equipped with safety modules, which include GPS, internet capabilities, solar charging, Bluetooth, and can charge almost any personal device. There are many more features that will provide convenience, versatility, and safety.
According to StreetsResearch.com, the power bank market was valued at $18.5 billion in 2021 and is expected to grow at an annual rate of 4%, making the market worth $25 billion in 2030. The GPS market was valued at $76 billion in 2021 and is expected to grow at an annual rate of 16.5%, making the market worth about $258 billion in 2030. These numbers show that both markets are available for newcomers to enter in.
With a generous donation from Vent Oregon, we are able to pay for development and further our development for future electronics, like 3D printers and other components. And Vent Oregon gave us the motivation and materials to help bring Team HazardCat to life. And with whatever the remainder that they give us, we are on to pursue and expand with our creation and development with what we have going on and try to make it more into it.
With this product, we can reduce e-waste by having an all-in-one device and a recycling business model. This device will help people who hike or camp because the compact design makes it easier to carry, and its capabilities can help in emergency situations, from being lost to being attacked. With the Omni Charger, you can help us light the path to a brighter future. Thank you.
Thank you, HazardCat Engineering. We still have more inspiring student innovators to hear from, but for now, let's give a round of applause to everyone who's just presented, because they deserve it. Up next is Drop Skate Shoes, representing Southern Oregon University. Their project is inspired from personal experience and the surprising lack of technical skater shoes on the market. Made out of sustainable materials and built for flexibility and durability, please welcome Drop Skate Shoes.
Is my slide up there? Hello, everyone. We are all defined by what we put our time, money, and energy into, but we are also defined by what we leave behind. Thank you all for being here. What an amazing journey it's been. My name is Stephen Minich, and I'm a student at Southern Oregon University. I'm from Klamath Falls, and I'm the founder of Drop Skate Shoes. My life has been filled with various roles and challenges. I'm a husband, father, brother, student, son, and I was a crew leader for over 12 years. These roles are all a part of what defines me, but in each of these roles, I serve others. In returning to my education later on in life, after becoming homeless at age 16 and having my first child at 18, and experiencing many other adversities along the way, like everyone else, I'm sure, in this room. Skateboarding remained like the thing throughout all that time that was there for me. And so each year in the US alone, 40 million tons of waste are created by shoes, and a pair of skate shoes costs on average from $80 to $100, and they only last a skater 1 month. So in participating in this competition, combined with my time at SOU and Klamath Community College, I realized that it's not just about research and technicalities. It's about discovering what defines me and how I can give back to something that's always been there. Since the inception of Drop, which began at a required class at SOU, really, I never expected to make it to this point. I just want to stress that for 1 second. Yeah, we listened to the voices of skaters with market research, embracing their feedback to refine our shoes, honing in on problems that have plagued skaters for years. Some issues I was aware of, but most of them I would have had no idea if it wasn't for people willing to talk to me. There have been several moments of panic along this journey. I have a little bit of social anxiety, and I'm a digital cinema major, so I'm supposed to be behind the camera, not up here. But yeah, that's when I discovered, in the middle of stressing out and trying to learn how to make shoes from scratch after the semifinals, one night, late at night, 3 o'clock in the morning, I ran into a shoe that was put on the market at the exact same time as I was coming up with the design, and it was extremely similar to my concept. At first, this was like existential crisis moment, but then I realized this is probably the most validating thing that I could have had happen. And so, yeah. Every single setback has been an opportunity and a stepping stone, inviting us to take a deeper look for solutions. Our mission goes beyond creating a sustainable shoe brand, and it's about igniting a movement that celebrates individuality and fosters inclusivity. It's about unlocking the potential of all of us. It's challenging to discover what defines us and push for change. But I don't want to just tell you the story of the kid with holes in his shoes. And at Drop, we're creating shoes that speak directly to the next generation of skaters, starting with recycled materials, such as the rubber for the soles, but also combining them with eco-friendly products such as hemp canvas, kombucha leather, mushroom leather, pineapple leather. We will ship directly to customers, and the packaging will include return shipping so that we take responsibility for the recycling process instead of passing it on to the customers. Also, we can continue to research and improve our designs over time based directly on customer feedback. We also understand the value of community. This is why we will partner with local skate shops to ensure that our products are available to the people who need them the most. At Drop, we invite you to take the challenge to unlock your potential and discover what defines you.
Thank you, Drop Skate Shoes. As a fellow skateboarder, I'm looking forward to seeing this get on the market. Next up, representing University of Portland, is Occidental, with intent to prevent common injuries in aging populations. This team is developing an automated seat lift that assists users from sitting to standing positions safely. Please welcome Occidental.
Hi, everyone. My name's Jessica, and this is my partner, Thelma. We are both graduated from University of Portland as mechanical engineers. Now, I would like for you to imagine a future where the percentage of elderly falling decreases and the fear of your grandparents falling also is diminished. I would like to introduce you to the assistance. The assistance is an invention to ease the action of sitting. Now, for our target age group, we hope to target adults ages 65 and older, and we found that this market audience is supposed to increase by 35% in the next 30 years. Now, other stats that we found is that 17% of the US population is made up of the elderly population, and our purpose is to ease the action of sitting. Now, 1/3 of the adults ages 65 and older is reported to fall, which leads to about 32 deaths each year.
So what challenges are we trying to solve? Well, first, we want to decrease the occurrence of falls in our target population. And this can happen a lot when our target population is trying to stand from a seated position. We also spoke with some medical staff, some nurses, physical therapists, and we found that a large part of their day is spent lifting their patients from a chair and having to move them to a wheelchair or a hospital bed. And this is very labor intensive and can often lead to a lot of straining. Our product can alleviate that. And we also want to increase the mobility and independence of our user, which can then lead to an increase in confidence they have in their physical abilities.
Now, for our user research, we talked to healthcare workers and elderly, and we found that healthcare workers, specifically nurses, were doing intensive labor in lifting, and it was very repetitive. So they thought this chair would be an easy way and a tool for them to help lift the elderly, their patients. We also talked to the director of strategic clinical strategy, and she thought the feasibility of this product was very high, since there is no common chair with a simple lift functionality. As for the elderly, we observed them, and we saw that they fell back into the chair most of the time or used other muscles and components to get up.
So what our product is a basic chair. It has the same structure of a regular dining chair, but the seat is removable and it's attached with a hinge in the front. So when our user touches the button to allow them to stand, we have an actuator placed on the bottom of the seat that will lift the seat to a 60-degree angle, which allows the user to finish and complete the standing action, and they can also sit back down. And so what's so different about our product in comparison to other products that do a similar function on the market is that this seat is completely automated, so the user won't have to rely on any other limbs to complete this action, whereas other products are a more manual, they have more of a manual mechanism. So this is our first prototype. As you can see, it's a basic regular chair, and as you can see on the back, our actuator is attached at an angle, and when our actuator is fully extended, it lifts the seat to the 60-degree angle. In this case, we used a piston. And if you stopped by our booth earlier, you might have seen the video of our piston moving the seat up and down. For our second prototype, we went with a linear actuator, and the reason for that is that this can hold 300 pounds of force. And also, if the motor happens to fail during any part of the linear actuator's extension, the extension will lock so that it will prevent any other injuries that can occur during this process. Also, we have added a seat or a memory foam cushion to the seat, and this is to accommodate for any users that might experience arthritis, as well as a waxed cotton cover for the seat so that any accidents or spills that may occur while the user is sitting is not going to penetrate through the cover.
Now, for our market plan, we hope to first target care homes. There's about 26,000 care homes in the United States, and then we hope to go to the hospitals, which is around 6,000 in the United States. Then we'll go to physical therapy clinics, and the reason why it's third is because we did ask physical therapists, and they saw it was more of a luxury item, not necessary, as seen in hospitals and care homes. Then we hope to go to homes and public areas. And with your help, we hope to integrate assistance into society to ease the action of sitting. Thank you.
Thank you, assistants. I'm just going to share this. I had spine surgery in February, so the first thing I had to learn how to do was stand up in a chair. This is kind of cool to see, so just putting it out there. Good luck to you all. I mentioned earlier that Invent Oregon can be a launch pad for these young entrepreneurs. That many keep working on their concepts. That's definitely been the case for the 2022 winner, Jensen Barnes of Love Hate Athletica. She's here with us today to share a little bit about what she's been up to. Please welcome Jensen Barnes.
Okay, hi everyone. Oh my gosh, it feels like just like a few months ago I was here on this stage. Well, different stage, but same vibe. Competing a year ago. And I'm kind of here just to tell you what I've been up to for the past 12 months. So I say immediately, I will say I officially launched in December. Yay! Which that was a huge milestone for me. I was able to actually purchase my first 350 units with the help of Invent Oregon. Since then, I've also competed in a multitude of business competitions and for grants. And to date, Love Hate Athletica has won $33,000 in funding. And I was also, oh, thank you. Most recently, the Oregon Innovation Challenge, which kind of acts like an incubator. And so that was the most recent experience I've had. But I also was invited all the way across the country to the largest female entrepreneurship competition, the Draper competition in Northampton. So that was an amazing experience. And as well as something Abigail led was the Global Student Entrepreneurship Awards, which I was able to win the Portland division. So I've been traveling all over, and I actually just graduated 2 days ago, so this has become officially my full-time job, which has been amazing. But I will say there's a few things I want to touch on that some of you may have watched my pitch. So firstly, like I said, I launched in December. With $0 in marketing, I've had $2,600 in revenue, and I just got my first wholesale partnership about a month ago in Players Racket Shop right here in Beaverton, so you can see my dresses on display. I would say another thing is that I'm currently working on a partnership with the largest tennis influencer in the world. I would say it's a testament to being scrappy and learning things from Invent Oregon, because I basically was like, what can an email do? And I reached out, and she was really like on board. She really wants to work with me. So that's kind of what I'm looking at now. And currently I'm in the process of trying to raise money from an angel investment group. So I will just say I'm so excited to hear more about what everyone else is doing. And yeah, congrats everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Jensen. Wish you luck and can't wait to see how you keep building the Love Hate Athletica. I'm really curious who you're working with in the tennis world. Just saying. Our next innovator is Mercury Heels, representing George Fox University. This team's innovation is making personal mobility super convenient by combining 3 existing technologies into one pair of shoes that will convert seamlessly from wheeled transport to walkable modes by handheld remote control. Please welcome Mercury Heels.
Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are enjoying this fine afternoon. I know it's been a long day for you innovators, and you're probably ready to wrap up, but just enjoy every moment. So, as she mentioned, my name is Isaac Franklin. I am representing Mercury Heels, the future of personal transporters. So, a little bit about myself. I'm the founder and CEO of Mercury Heels, and I actually just graduated with my mechanical engineering degree from George Fox University, and it has been quite the time. My interest in this product actually began 4 years ago, even though I didn't know it at the time. I used a scooter to get around campus, to get to my football practices and my classes and such, and it was really, really awesome to be able to get around campus so quickly. However, when I got to my destination, there was always the storage issue. When I got there, I either had to lock up my scooter or fold it up and carry it with me. And if I set it down, it always posed a tripping hazard, which brings us to the problem. For many citygoers, current personal transportation devices are not worth using because they take up your hands or require storage after use. That is why I have been developing Mercury Heels, the world's first 2-phase electric inline skates with a walk mode and a ride mode, which allows users to quickly transition between walking and riding to hit speeds comparable to other devices, and then quickly transition to walking. Our first customer segment we're aiming for is college students because they usually live on campus or at least close enough to use Mercury Heels as both a commuting device and a time saver as they commute between their classes. The current personal transporter market is worth about it was worth $48.5 billion in 2021, according to Stellar Market Research, and it is expected to grow by approximately 50% to $78.7 billion in 2027. The United States and North America make up about 35% of this market. So just a 1% market share in 2027 will be worth $250 million. Looking at the current competition that's on the market today, one thing becomes very clear. The more speed you have, you will pay the price in convenience. Mercury Heels is looking to fill that space with maximizing speed and efficiency to supply our customers with both the speed and efficiency that our competition fails to. So, our plan to launch. We essentially plan on giving out our product to YouTube influencers and or people who review products, and we'll have them direct people, potential customers, to our website where we will sell them our beta level product. As we increase in manufacturability, we will begin customizing and sending out variable different prototypes so that we can fully meet our customers' needs with different ranges and speeds. So, 6 months ago, I began writing napkin sketches for Mercury Heels, so that in February, I began using CAD to develop a mechanical model. March, I developed my very first physical prototype, but all that did was prove that the walk and ride concept was possible. Then, in April, I implemented stronger materials and strengthened the model and added motor control. In May, I compacted the design and brought the weight back towards the ankle so that it was more comfortable. And now I have a fully controlled custom electronic system that drives Mercury Heels. Having done 10 long-form interviews and spoken with over 100 people just more casually, I've received overwhelmingly positive feedback from potential customers. One user said, "Your idea captures the balance between comfort and speed that no other company has achieved." We've made it very, very far, but it would not have been possible without my amazing team of advisors and, of course, the people that I interviewed who gave me amazing feedback. So I wanted to give a quick shout out to them as well. Please feel free to reach out to me, scan the QR code that'll give you my contact information if you or somebody you know may be interested in joining the team. We're looking to expand our talent and grow our team to make Mercury Heels come to life. Thank you.
Thank you, Mercury Heels. Our next team of innovation has a really cool name because it stems from a Greek mythology and the keeper of shields in the Temple of Mars. And Keeley Systems here is representing Rogue Community College. Their project revolves around saving lives. They are working on an automatic field tourniquet that electronically applies itself and monitors medical data through embedded sensors with the aim to be as easy to use and ubiquitous as defibrillators and fire extinguishers. Please welcome Keeley Systems.
You can bleed out in as quick as 3 minutes. The national average response time is 10 minutes, and that's not a guaranteed paramedic or EMS professional worker. That's why here today, Keeley Systems is proud to present the AFT, or Automatic Field Tourniquet. Hi, my name is Carter Stewart. I am the co-founder of Keeley Systems, along with my partner, Emmett Allen. We are both mechanical engineer majors over at Rogue Community College. And we want to keep your blood in your body. So over a year ago, I got to take an emergency casualty care course where one of my biggest takeaways was the importance of tourniquets. And so naturally, like anyone who learned something new or exciting, they went to share it. I went home to my girlfriend, I showed her my new first aid kit that I built out, and she's like, "Well, what's that?" I'm like, "It's a tourniquet." And out of curiosity, I was like, "Hey, can you use it?" She wasn't able to, but that's no fault to her own. Most people have this problem, and Emmett and I talked to a lot of different friends and family members, and we saw this was a really common trend. And we dug into more problems of modern day tourniquets. There's a bunch of different designs. They're not a standard device, and they all have their own unique features and applications that all make them slightly different to use and require a learning curve. They also require a lot of strength and dexterity to use, which makes this really difficult for elderly, children, disabled people, or even self-application. In a time of emergency, there's no time to learn a curve. The next big problem we saw is they weren't widely available. You would think because 35% of all pre-hospital deaths are due to traumatic bleeding, you would see one everywhere, just like a fire extinguisher or AED. I couldn't quickly or clearly find one at my school, and Emmett and I, for another class, got to tour a lumber mill. And out of all their safety features and devices around their whole facilities, we only saw one bleeding control kit. So that led us to design the AFT, a device with two simple steps. Simply slide it over the affected limb and press the button. And using blood flow data, the device automatically constricts until total blood occlusion or stoppage of the bleeding. So Emmett and I got involved in Invent Oregon a week before semifinals. We went to Invent Oregon semifinals with just this napkin sketch. And in the last 8 weeks, we've been able to design all our own modeling, done our electronics, got to meet with many medical professionals, even got to use their really scary, lifelike mannequin, and have 2 prototypes that you probably saw here today at our booth. As we continue to develop this, we want to add emergency GPS, improve our biometric feedback data, and add a remote viewing capable of medical professionals being able to remotely access and view AFTs being used. We want this device to be available for any individual and to anywhere that cares about their patrons' safety and peace of mind. You'll see us in arenas, first aid kits, schools, anywhere you see a first aid station, an AED, a fire extinguisher, which you probably saw here today along the walls and the AED at the back. And this is totally accomplishable. When you look at the emergency medical equipment industry is worth over $17 billion. The AED alone is worth over $3 billion, and they are experiencing an annual compounded growth of 9.3% between now and 2030. So a recent study was done in LA County where they only saw 10.3% of patients who are experiencing traumatic bleeding entering their hospital with a pre-applied tourniquet. Of those patients, we saw improved patient stability, a reduction in limb amputation, and less strain on the hospital's blood supply. Unfortunately, those who didn't receive a tourniquet, we saw an almost 9% mortality rate. But with a tourniquet, that drops to 1. In the time it took to give this presentation here today, you would have already bled out. The AFT is the biggest and best way to stop unnecessary deaths. And if you would like to continue supporting first aid development in your community, please scan our QR code, join our mailer, and take our survey. Thank you.
Thank you, Keeley Systems. Representing Umpqua Community College, we have Next Step Energy. They are working to get us one step closer to ending our dependence on fossil fuels. They've been working hard to develop a battery that captures kinetic energy that can be used to charge devices while you walk or provide power in remote regions of the world where electricity is not readily available. Please welcome Next Step Energy.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Humphreys, and I'm with Next Step Energy. When I was young, dumb, I found myself in the 82nd Airborne in the middle of the desert, walking lots of miles, carrying a lot of weight. We carried everything we needed for our mission. That's included a ton of batteries. And these batteries, we had to carry them even when they were depleted. We changed out our batteries for our night vision goggles, our PAC-2, PQ2s, PAC-4, the IR lasers on our weapons, the TAC lights, and our weapon optics at a minimum. Most of us had GPS and radios also. And we changed these out every day regardless of how much charge they had left because they were essential for our survival. And this leads, well, and if these batteries were at least rechargeable, they wouldn't have found their way into the landfills and burn pits. And this actually leads me to my next anecdote. Most of the people in the area didn't even have electricity, and if they did, it was usually out. They had rolling blackouts because they couldn't produce enough electricity for their entire grid. And it would be unlikely that we'd have power to recharge our equipment anyways. And my friend and co-teammate, Ovid, can attest to this. She grew up in Cambodia without electricity, and she can definitely attest to the importance of electricity in developing areas. At Next Step Energy, we are striving to help everybody do their part when it comes to producing electricity. There's not going to be a single cure-all for our electrical needs, and we need to stop depending on coal and oil and nuclear power. It just produces so much waste. And this brings me to what I always think about when it comes to energy is Albert Einstein's quote, "Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another." And this just makes my imagination go wild. There's energy all around us. If we can just find a way to harness a fraction of that, we would no longer be dependent on coal and oil and nuclear energy. With our first product, PKG, the passive kinetic generator, you'll be able to harness the kinetic energy of walking and create clean, renewable, usable electricity to charge your devices. Okay, so to charge your phone, it takes around 40 watt hours, and if only 10% of Americans charge their phone with the PKG, that would alleviate 1,300 megawatt hours of electricity production from our grid. And if they charge their phone only 2 to 3 times a week, that would negate 6,300 tons of carbon emissions monthly. At Next Step Energy, we know everybody would benefit from the passive kinetic generator, but not everybody will be able to afford them. But not everybody can afford it or have the motivation. They'll probably find it easier just to plug it into their car or their house, which car is running on gas most of the time. And if it's an electric car, you're just draining your battery that you have to charge when you get home. So there's just, sorry. Our first step, we plan to market to the avid outdoorsmen, the ones walking for days and miles to seek their big game or the next big thrill. And after that, we hope to get it in the hands of our soldiers and lessen their burden and our country's waste. Once we gain traction, we plan on donating these devices to lesser developed areas so they can have access to electricity, which we agree with Vasim Akrim, who wrote an article for the Electrical Economics Journal in 2022 called "Causality Between Access to Electricity and Education, Evidence from BRICS Countries." And I feel he best summed up his work with the very last line of it. Providing access to electricity will not only help the education sector, but also provide a better way of life by improving literacy. So when we first started Invent Oregon, we were still coming up with an idea. Before coming to the boot camp, all we had was this little sketch, which the actual prototype and device looks nothing like it. The middle image is our proof of concept, which we were able to do when we got accepted to semifinal, or I guess that was just being accepted to the Invent Oregon. And then after being accepted as semifinalists, we were able to start producing a 3D models and actually print out our device, the body of the device. And you probably saw it out in the booth back in the back. And I would just like to thank everybody here for your time. And a special thanks for everybody at Invent Oregon and all the time and effort they put into making all this happen.
Thank you, Next Step Energy. All right. Our final team presenting today is Learn to Play. They hail from Willamette University. Innovation can come in many forms, and sometimes it comes in the shape of a playground inspired by intricate scientific structures. Learn to Play is creating tactile educational spaces where children can connect to, play with, and be inspired by complex scientific concepts and systems. Please welcome Learn to Play.
Hello, I'm Rebecca with Project Learn to Play. Who here thinks the world has problems? If you're not raising your hand, I envy you, but please go watch the news. Because our world has problems, we need problem solvers. Specifically, we need STEM professionals, because STEM has the capacity to solve everything from knee pain to sustainable clothing. That is why this problem, that we don't have enough STEM professionals, is the source of a whole host of other problems, and thus crucial for us to solve. To put it in numbers, in the next 2 years, there will be 3.5 million jobs in STEM available in the US. But 2 million of those jobs are likely to go unfilled. Why is there a picture of a baby tree on the slide? Well, think about a tree. You don't snap your fingers and make a tree appear. You plant a seed, you water it, and it grows. Similarly, you don't snap your fingers and make a STEM professional appear. They start as a young, curious child, and they grow into a STEM professional. But you can pour all the water you want on a child, and that won't make them a STEM professional. So how do STEM professionals grow? They grow through early exposure to STEM concepts and role models. This answer is founded upon something called the Lost Einstein Study. Fun fact, Invent Oregon is also founded upon a concept from this study. It showed that a child surrounded by inventors is more likely to grow up and become an inventor than a child who didn't have those role models. In the words of Alex Bell, a leader of the study, you can't be what you can't see. So, if we want these kids to grow up and solve crazy math equations that model real-world problems, we need to provide the visibility of STEM at an early age. So, what is our solution? Our solution is to provide exposure to STEM, and we're going to do it through play equipment. Why play equipment? Well, play equipment utilizes kinesthetic and visual means of learning. These means of learning have been proven to increase comprehension of difficult concepts. Additionally, play itself has been shown to have a myriad of positive learning outcomes. How are we going to implement this solution? We're going to do it by selling play sets that make scientific concepts come to life. With the play structure, we will also provide an online learning content for the student to understand the concepts behind the structure. And on that learning platform, we will have featured scientists to provide the element of a role model. So we have an effective solution. Is it viable? Well, by 2028, the EdToys market is expected to be $132 billion. North America is leading this market. Hey, we're in North America. STEM toys are driving this growth. We're making STEM toys. We intend to capture a modest 1% of this market in the next 4 years, and that will lead to a revenue of $83 million. How are we going to capture this $83 million? Well, let's start with what we've already done with just 2,500. We've built a rocket and we've launched it to the moon. Metaphorically, you all can breathe. Literally, we have built 3 life-size play structures. We have printed over 60 models. My teammate Riley has lost 450 hours of sleep. And we have developed key connections, including a grant writer at OMSI. We've done all of this fueled by determination, drive, and the small catalyst of panic that's necessary for any true efficiency. So that's what we've done. But where are we going? In the next year, we plan to commercialize our protein climbing wall. The year after that, we want to expand to other commercial structures still within the realm of biology. And in the 3rd and 4th years, we want to go beyond biology to other STEM concepts. Concurrently with this, in the first 2 years, we want to build a full play structure at OMSI. In the 3rd and 4th years, we want to transition to a B Corp because we recognize that not every kid has a backyard to put a play set in. And we truly want STEM to be accessible to all. So we are going to donate play sets to low-income school districts. We don't want any of those little saplings to wither. We want all of them to grow into tall, strong trees. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. So, will you help us grow the next generation of STEM professionals? Thank you.
Thank you, Learn to Play. You know, in STEM, you can also add an A for art, so that becomes STEAM, and this is all a really great concept, so thank you for that. Everyone, please give a round of applause to all of our presenters today. So it's the moment you've been waiting for. Earlier today, the teams pitched to a panel of judges, and the scores are in. Before we start, I'd like to invite all of the university and college presidents, sponsors, mentors, judges, and faculty advisors to join us on this stage as we prepare to announce the winners of the 2023 Invent Oregon Finals. Come on up. And for those of you sitting while they get up here, if you want to stand up and stretch, go for it. Okay. We're waiting, we're waiting. They're running, they're running. No pressure, just awkward moment. Come on up, we're waiting. It's all good. Thank you all for your great. Portland traffic, ain't it fun? Thank you all for being here today and for your support of the program. Our first award of the evening will be the Visionary Award. This goes to the team that proposes a solution that, if it works, will dent the sky someday. That is, will significantly transform humankind and or the planet for the better. The panel of judges evaluated all of the projects on separate criteria to pick a team whose work should be highlighted for not only their progress, but for their overall vision. This award also comes with $2,500 prize money to help them continue their innovation journey. Presenting the Visionary Award is Robert Teal from Stoll Reeves. Robert.
Thanks, everybody. I'm here from Stoll Reeves to present the Visionary Award, and the winner is Team Bucha.
Congratulations, Team Bucha. Each year, we give special recognition to students who are representing community colleges. Their hard work is supported by a special gift from our sponsors. To present former finalists from Rowe Community College and a current mentor to teams, Blake Turner. Blake, can you tell us what you've been up to since Invent Oregon?
Hello, and thank you everybody for coming here. It's my pleasure to be on here presenting the best community college today. 5 years ago, I was sitting right where you were sitting. I was in the stands waiting to know who won Invent Oregon in 2018. I had worked really hard with my team to develop our prototype where we converted my 63 Corvair to run on hydrogen. We had to jump through all these hoops to get us to let them bring the car into the building, and then we got there, and some of you already know the story. There were steps, and we had to make an OSHA violation out of our U-Haul trailer, and with the help of plenty of the other teams, we got that car into the building. helping Learn Sesh get in definitely brought back some of those memories. Invent Oregon, I can't, I'm not understating this when I say that Invent Oregon completely changed how I see myself. 5 years ago, I was an engineering student, about to just become a mechanical engineer. I didn't do things like this. What got me involved in Invent Oregon, honestly, was a fluke. And 5 years ago, I went home empty-handed. I didn't win anything. And so why am I here? Because I took that as an opportunity to take the next step. The following year, I represented Portland State, where I actually took home second place. And I continued that path that Invent Oregon sent me on and completely changed my career path. And now I'm here helping set up Invent Oregon for 2023, working for the CE, and helping run the event that 5 years ago I didn't win anything from. So I think it's important that Invent Oregon does a lot more than just give you money to develop your prototype. But for me, it changed how I view myself. It gave me the confidence to pursue new ideas, to actually get on stage and present. 5 years ago, I would have never been up here presenting. And now it is my honor to present the Community College Award, because coming from Road Community College myself, I know all the extra barriers that community college students have to go through. So I want to congratulate all the community colleges for getting this far. And the best community college award goes to Learn Sesh from Umpqua Community College.
Congratulations. We'd like to welcome back Jensen Barnes to present the award for fourth place. Jensen.
Thanks, Hazel. Okay. It is my pleasure to announce the team taking home fourth place is Team Bucha.
All right, folks, things are really getting exciting now. I'd like to welcome Jeff Stell from Business Oregon to announce our third place prize and share a little bit about the impact that programs like Invent Oregon have.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Jeff Stell. I'm the Small Business Officer with Business Oregon, and Business Oregon is the economic development agency of the state of Oregon. With me tonight is my colleague, Marta Terence. She's here. Many of you met her earlier today. Business Oregon, as the economic development agency for the state, we are principally interested in helping traded sector businesses and industries. Now, you may be asking, or you may not be asking, what is a traded sector industry? Traded sector industries are those that typically can sell outside of the state, either nationally or internationally. And so Business Oregon does a lot of investment in those businesses and industries. However, the businesses that are going to start as a result of Invent Or, this is the pipeline for the future, because the inventions of today become the traded sector products of tomorrow. So it is a great pleasure for us at Business Oregon to be able to sponsor this event. So it is my pleasure to share the team taking home third place is Learn Sesh from Umpqua Community College.
Congratulations, Learn Sesh. Before we get to second and first place winners, we have an award that was voted on by those who attended the special exhibition this afternoon. We'd like to invite Joseph Janda, the Assistant Vice President of PSU, to share a little about PSU's commitment to student innovation. Joe.
I will now share a little bit about Portland State University's commitment to student innovation. PSU is committed to student innovation. Thank you. No. This program and others like it are simply amazing. They're one of my favorite things about my job at a university. I've been working at universities for 20 years, and it's magical what happens when you provide students with the space to pursue their own direction, a little bit of resources, a little bit of advice, and a lot of encouragement. And the things that happen between day 1 and day 90 in contests like this are nothing short of amazing. We're glad to support it. We'll continue to support it in any way we can. The People's Choice Award for 2023's Invent Oregon goes to Learn to Play from Willamette University.
Congratulations, and thank you, Joe. So today is about showcasing the hard work and ingenuity of these student innovators, but they didn't get here alone. I'd extend a special thank you to faculty advisors that support Invent Oregon across the state. With that, I'd like to welcome another previous winner to the stage. After taking home a win in 2017, Skylar Pearson and Hugh Neri have continued to build Next Garden. When not working on their own startup, they're both dedicated mentors, advisors, and coaches for innovators. Please welcome Skylar Pearson.
Hey, y'all. It is such an honor to be here handing out the second place prize. I just wanted to say how meaningful it has been to me to be able to be a mentor here. And it's been so much fun working with students. It really feels like everything's kind of coming full circle. And obviously, like, it definitely boosts my ego to be able to give my knowledge to the new students. But it's also been, so valuable to me in everything that I learned from the students. It definitely helps keep me inspired and innovating. And I think one of the most valuable pieces of being in Invent Oregon has been the community, not just during the competition, but everything that comes after. So it is my pleasure to welcome into that community, even more so, Wheelchair Mate from Oregon State. Taking home second place, $7,500.
Congratulations. All right, folks, we have just one award left. Please welcome back Laura Locker to announce the winner.
Oh my gosh, you guys. The hard work and dedication of all the students presenting today is an inspiration to us all. We look forward to seeing how you grow in your innovative spirit. It's my honor to share with you the winners of the 2023 Invent Oregon Finals. They will be taking home more than $10,000 in prizes and services to help keep their momentum going. So without further ado, our first place winner, wait just a second. You had to make it small. Is Slap Weights from Oregon State University. Congratulations. The note. Okay. There you go.
Congratulations to everyone, and a huge thank you to the Invent Oregon staff for all the magic behind the scenes. Give them a round of applause. To the mentors and volunteers for being an integral part of the student success. Give them an applause. And thank you all for being here and being part of today.